Hello there. Do you know that we probably will never find out just how violent this year's general election campaign was? Because it's actually not tracked. You see, we know that before the campaign itself, politicians sat down in Parliament and said, you know what? We probably need to make up some kind of plan because we know that there's going to be a very different vibe to this year's election. Not helped by places or organizations involved in the freedom movement, for example, who were still angry about being told to look after other people. But there was a lot more that actually came out during the campaign, particularly from right wing candidates' supporters. We saw them sort of fed disinformation from groups like Hobson's Pledge and the Taxpayers Union, which really got them worked up and shows just how gullible they were, but really got them worked up. And I saw it myself in a couple of meetings. And talking to a number of the candidates since the election, it was not an uncommon thing to see happen. We also know that, for example, one candidate in Taranaki King Country got slapped at a public meeting. We know that Hana Rafati Maipi Clark for Hauraki Waikato got broken into a number of times, including by Captain White Privilege here, who got away with it because, you know what, it's just good old Gunsy from the bowling club, and there was no pushback on just how creepy that actually was. But when it comes to actual police reporting, well, that's a little bit different. You see, I put in an official information request to see how much had actually been reported to the police, and they told me they didn't actually know. You see, they do keep information about reports made from MPs and officers of MPs, and there were 12 complaints that were put in place between the 30th of June and the 30th of September. And they wouldn't tell me who it was, which kind of makes sense. But 5 of them were female, 7 of them were male, and some people got multiple complaints. It was a whole thing. But what they did point out was that to go through and work out whether or not a huge number of complaints had actually been reported across the country involves a massive amount of manual labor. They would have to go through every single complaint and try and ascertain as well whether or not that particular issue that the complaint is about was politically motivated, because it might not be. So we're kind of left sitting here at the end of the election not knowing just how violent it got. And this sets us up for a really big concern for the next one, because we don't know how many people out there were holding on to this sort of violent framework in their minds, or how many people feel that violence is justified to get what they want. We do know some research says it could be as many as 1 in 4 people feel that violence is justified to get what they want. And that is a real concern, and something that hopefully whoever is in Parliament this time around makes sure that next election is safe for everybody going out there and standing up to get elected.